All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And as you can see in the title, what do we have here? It's all about putting up a show to distract. And just a quick heads up, this is going to be the channel that I'll be uploading on for the next week or so. My main page got a got a strike for a video that I re-uploaded years ago. All right, but so that one is a strike. It has a strike. I can't upload on there for now, so I'm just going to be uploading on here for the next week or so. But nevertheless, let's get right into it. Lord willing to be quick, straight to the point, and edifying to the elect. Now, as you can see before you, this article right here, the headline is really what I'm focusing on, not so much about the article. Because for those that were paying attention, they basically made um, this whole big deal about the debt ceiling, and so on and so forth. And I mean, we're still yet to see, because it says it's been reached in principle, but we're still yet to see, what happens. Ultimately, they're probably just gonna go ahead and pass something, which they whenever they do things like this, they already know what they're doing. They already have an agreement, at the end of it. The whole goal is to distract, is to put out a show. Okay, it's to have people, oh, whoa, is it gonna be this? Is it gonna be that? They kind of did something like this similarly, which I pulled up this tab for that in back in 2018. All right, you had that the government shutdown. All right, that went on for quite a little while, as it says here, 35 days. All right, seeming as though they were gonna stay in a state of chaos, but in actuality, it's all done on purpose. A lot of these things that you see going on, it's not like, it's called controlled opposition, and it gives people something to set their mind upon and focus on. Because think about it, if you had, um, if maybe right around this time something is going on, which a lot of things are happening, but if something is going on uh, covertly, and they need people's eyes on something. If you notice, every so often, something comes up in the news, be it Trump's trial or balloons that were so-called unidentified, aerial phenomena in the air, saying that they were China that was doing it, and or the Ohio, East Palestine situation. There's always something that comes up in the media for a certain period of time, and then it's almost like that's it. It disappears. They don't really follow up and keep up with it, but it just does its job to get the people's attention for the right amount of time that they need, like a diversion. So if you had a situation like this, you could go one of two routes, right? You could just say, all right, you know what, we already know what we're gonna do at the end. Let's just get it done. Or you could say, well, let's milk the cow and let's really drag this thing out and get more benefit from it. Instead of just going ahead and coming to some agreement or some negotiation or whatever the case is, let's drag it out. Let's make it look like it ain't gonna happen. Let's wait to the very end. And that's gonna get people's eyes. Okay, but these devils, man, that's what they do. These are all part of their tactics. You gotta make sure you're paying attention, especially whenever there's something that the mainstream media, the MSM, which is controlled, is harping on nonstop. Of course, it's also good to look into it and see what exactly it's about. But at the same time, that's when you really have to keep your eyes out all around. You have to be circumspect, realizing that there has to be a reason why why they're putting this out here, because they have the option to blackball certain things. After this whole train derailment in Ohio, that wasn't the last one that happened. There were many more that came after, and yet where was the mainstream media attention on that? What happened? Where's the follow up? You don't really hear about it. It's done its job. So maybe I read just a little bit of this. It says here, the White House and GOP negotiators have reached an agreement in principle to raise the U.S. debt ceiling, averting a default. Which right around the same time, you also had the FDA approve Elon Musk's Neuralink. Now for clinical trials, right? Human trials. Now, one thing about the FDA is the FDA, when they approve certain things, they don't necessarily look into the exact details of every little thing. If you have a drug or some medication, something, a pill or a supplement that you are trying to get it approved. If you label the supplement something like I don't know, super brain, you know, like improves brain alertness or mental capabilities, things like this. When you use vague language like this, the thing about the FDA is they will likely approve this without giving you much help. However, if you say something like this, or you label on your drug that this will, I don't know, cure Alzheimer's, or take care of arthritis. When you actually make claims like this, where you're dealing with an actual known disease or medical issue, that is when they look into the details, the every single part of it, and then you really go through it. But for companies that really just label things on here with generic benefits, they don't really have to go through hell like that. Okay. Nevertheless, this also trusted, FDA, they just approved that, which is another major step in the direction of what? Of prophecy. And all that is happening now. But how many people are aware of that, of what's going on there, and all the other things that are happening? When you rely solely on the MSM, you remain blind. It's the MSM. Picture it like somebody using their two hands to grab the side of your face, like your head, and then they direct you. They like you try to imagine you're trying to turn your head to the right, and somebody has their big sweaty palm slapped on your face, and they're like turning your head the opposite way. No, 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 look over here, look over here. Shh, right here, right. That's what the MSM does. Okay, the second you you try to look in one direction, like no, 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 pay attention here. Meanwhile, there's a whole commotion going on your right side, but they got your head turned to the left. Every time you try to turn your head to the right, they grab it and they pull it back to the left. Okay, and you got a lot of people that just fall for it. But as the scriptures say, well, which we're gonna get in a minute, but I just want to read a little bit of this. So it goes on. It says the White House and GOP negotiators have reached an agreement in principle to raise the U.S. debt ceiling, averting a default, as if this is a as if this is a good thing, raising the U.S. debt ceiling. It says the deal raises the debt limit and keeps the non-defense spending near flat for 2 years, while cutting and capping various federal programs. Uh-oh. After 2025, however, there will be no budget cap, no budget caps, no cap. It says here, sources on Capitol Hill tell me the debt ceiling deal McCarthy negotiated with Biden includes no legitimate spending cuts or significant reforms in exchange for a $4 trillion debt ceiling increase. Just a freeze next year, followed by a 1% increase in 25 adjusted for inflation. Now, all this right here, how is this actually going to benefit people? you know, it says here it was structured with the aim of enticing votes from both parties, though it would most likely draw the ire not only of conservative Republicans, but also Democrats furious at being asked to vote for cuts they oppose with the threat of default looming. And this place is done. You see that picture right there? That sums it up perfectly. This place is completely through. All right. You cannot heal Babylon. These elites themselves don't want to heal Babylon. They're the ones that poison the bitch. Oh man. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it that I'm gonna read on here. It's not, I mean, other than the headline, there's not really, there's some sparing details here and there, but Let's get into this real quick. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 5, verse 15. It says, "Be not ignorant," right? Be not without knowledge of anything in a great matter or small. So this is why we got to look everywhere. We got to look into everything. All right, we got to read into it, look into it. You see a headline that's interesting, read the article, because you also got to keep in mind something that these news sites do is they also use clickbait, where they sum up the article with the most curiosity piquing, mind scratching titles and headlines they can use. So you got to look into that. You got to read it and find out what it's about, because the devil likes to, like they say, that the devil is in the details, and the details they have conditioned people to skim and skip over the details, and because of that, the details become a safe haven for them to hide very important information. People that don't read the details always get caught up, and then tell you. You say, "Oh, but I didn't know that this was." Well, they say, "Well, it's not like we didn't tell you. We did. In fact, we put it right before your face. We just taught you to stop looking at everything right before your face. You look to the left, look to the right, look up, look down, look anywhere but directly in front of you." But as the scriptures say, "Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small." Why? Because we're dealing with the devil here. So whatever it is, because what are great matters? Great matters start off small, and then they become great. So if you ignore the small matter, eventually it'll become a great matter, right? Little drops make a mighty ocean. Eventually it'll become. There's a TV show called Vikings, and there was a scene in there where one of the main characters' name was Ragnar, and he was punishing one of the other characters in there. I think his name was Floki, and basically what he did was, for committing murder, he punished him by having him in a cave where his hand, like his hands were chained together above his head, and he had to stand, I think, on, like, just straight up stand on some rock or some shit like that. And what made it worse was there was this tiny drop of water from the cave that would drop consistently upon this guy's head. Every, like, second, drop, 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 drop. And at first it seems like, yeah, I mean, it's just a drop. But when it goes on for one day, when it goes on for 2 days, when it goes on for 3 days, that tiny drop becomes so dreadful. You know, it becomes absolutely. I mean, and this is kind of like anything. When you do plank, right? Like the exercise position plank. You go into a plank position. The position itself is not difficult, right? It's a pretty straightforward and easy thing to do. It's when you do it that same thing for a long period of time, that's when it really starts to become very difficult. And yet it's the same plank, okay? But it's now for a greater duration. Anyway, the point is, you can't be ignorant of anything in a great or small matter, especially in these times. And the devil is going to throw a whole lot of distractions out. That's why you got to remain focused. Your mindset, your attention has to be laser focused with salvation on your mind. Serving Yahweh Shem Yahushua in your mind, doing the work of the Lord has to be number one priority, because there's going to be a whole lot of distractions. This is the book of, moving on, Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15. It says, "See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise." And something I find very interesting is that we are literally living in the most dangerous times that humanity has faced, as the scriptures even forewarn us of, labeled as Jacob's trouble. And we're living in the calm before that storm. But this is humanity's most dangerous position to be in, and yet it's the most deceiving, because this sense of urgency is at such a low rate, is at such a low percentage, that people are moving about as though with ease, as though there's nothing going on, not knowing that they are in imminent danger at the height, at the most it's ever been. I mean, this is the steepest cliff that the world is about to fall off, and the world is literally, let's say, 80% tilted off. Okay, or even maybe more than that. And yet everybody's chilling. They in La La Land. That's what I find very interesting. But that's why the scriptures say, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. So in order to do that, once again, like the angel told Ezra in 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, measure thou the times diligently in itself. So you can understand what times are we living in. How close are we to this destruction, this devastation, and what mindset should you be in? Being mentally prepared. I mean, it's not gonna do everything, but it's gonna do a lot. Okay. Verse 17, it says, wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. And we know right now the will of the Lord is to bring destruction to this place. So we got to get our minds ready. Stay working and stay ready. Stay in the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And don't let carnality draw you out of that. Now ain't the time where you can. It's like that episode of SpongeBob where they had that sea monster, wild sea beast shit. Where I'll see if I can find that. Let me see. SpongeBob sea monster beast attacks Squidward. And basically you had to oh man, this is hilarious. Let me see. There we go. Hopefully you don't hit me with no copyright on here either. If you take a look right here, let me see if I could forward it. Yeah, he's basically talking about this. Oh no, not this. Yeah, a sea bear, right? And basically the example I'm giving here is that they said that the defense against a sea bear is you got to draw a circle in the sand around yourself. And you got this dude Squidward pretty much taking it as a joke. And he starts triggering, he's doing all the things that they say you shouldn't do, because it's gonna attract that sea bear. And that's exactly what he's doing, because he's doing it out of unbelief. Right?
I don't know. Just a feeling.
No.
Yeah.
No. Squidward, please don't.
This is pretty much these people right now, a bunch of clowns. And they're really begging for it. They're calling for that judgment. And we telling them dope. So really, a lot of these people, they're Squidward right now.
SpongeBob, what are we gonna do? A sea bear is sure to come and eat us.
Don't worry, Patrick. I'll draw us an anti-sea bear circle in the dirt.
Right. So you got that circle, right? So the point I was making before was that now ain't the time for you to hopscotch. Jump out the circle and then think that, oh, I got drawn out of the circle of protection because of carnality, but I'm gonna be able to jump back in because I'm gonna be able to jump back in because I got time. No, you don't got time. And this is fair use, whatever. Let me see if they got some stuff on here. All right, this is not for what they call merchandise or whatever. This is not for commercial use. This is just for educational purposes. But anyway,
Good
what happened?
thinking. All the experts say it's the only defense against a sea bear attack.
There you go.
No, like that. Squidward, are you okay?
That's pretty much what's this is pretty much going to be the state of a lot of these oh shit. Hey, Slocky, man. But this is how Jake finna look in about a minute when that judgment comes forth on their ass, because they weren't listening. They weren't take heed. So the Lord's gonna send them judgments, and they're gonna tear your ass up like this sea bear tore up Squidward. Now he's all messed up, but I think there's more.
No.
Quick, jump inside our anti-sea bear circle before he comes back.
Yeah, sea bears often attack more than once.
Are you crazy? A dirt circle won't stop that monster. I'm running for my life.
Do you see that once again? So even after he was warned, and he got his ass beat, right? The scriptures say that the scourges are sent for amendment, but they will not, even for all this, they will not change their ways. So he got his ass beat, And they said, look, you got the only way is for you to jump into the circle. This dumbass, nah, you crazy. That's not enough. Right? That's like us telling them you got to have faith. And they say, no, avoid this kind of chaos. And you're going to have people like that. All hell is going to be breaking loose. They're going to be catching hell. The elect are going to be good. And you tell them you got to have faith. And they're going to say, nah, hell no, you crazy. I'm going to run down to Esau for help. So let's see what happens to them for that.
A dirt circle won't stop that monster. I'm running for my life.
Don't run! Sea bears hate that!
Thanks for the tip.
You got his whole head deflated and shit. For what? Disobedience. For disobedience. And once again, that's going to be these dudes. You know, these wicked Israelites out here. Men, women, and children.
I guess I'll just live home then.
They hate limping more than running!
Well, I guess I'll just have...
I should have warned you about crawling!
So they just can't get it right. They do it all the wrong things. And that's going to be these people. Man, look, when the Lord brings that judgment out, it's going to be like, as the scriptures say in 2 Ezra, the 5th chapter, that they shall hope, that men shall hope, but nothing obtain. So they're going to be doing all the wrong things as they're trying to try and, you know, in their minds thinking they can do the right thing. They're going to be doing all the wrong things, and they're going to keep getting that judgment until eventually they get cooked, you know, and they don't get back up.
I don't know. I guess he just doesn't like you.
You know, so yeah, that's pretty much it that I wasn't showing that. But the point is, you go now ain't the time to try and jump out that circle and then think you got time to jump back in. See, a lot of dudes, they're gonna jump out that circle, they're gonna get drawn out by carnality, and that she-bear, that judgment is gonna catch the ass outside. And at that point, ain't nothing you can do then. You could call on the name of the Lord. What did King David say? You know, which is a different context, but what did he say? He said, then did they call on the name? They cried unto the Lord, even Yahweh, but the Lord ignored them, and then he beat them small as the dust of the earth. So that ass whooping is coming. A lot of people finna be Squidward real soon. We're not trying to be Squidward, so we're gonna stay in that circle. We're gonna stay in the circle of righteousness. Let me finish it off with this. This is the book of what am I looking for? There we go. 1 Thessalonians 5:4. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Right? So jumping down to verse 6, therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. So linking back with the precept we read, be not ignorant of anything in a small matter or in a great matter. All right. But Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rachah, Kodesh. Until next time, Shalom.